So, what did we do in the last class? I took a new lesson, lesson number 6. What was the title of that? What was the title? To sleep. And who was the poet?
William
Wordsworth. Okay, William Wordsworth. And yes, can anyone tell me about William Wordsworth? Now, I don't want mass answering. I have muted you. Who can give me some information about, some details about William Wordsworth? Yes, Janvi. Tell me. What do you know about William Wordsworth?
William Wordsworth was known as the nature's poet.
Yes, he's known as the nature's poet. Yes. Then, anything else?
He was born on 1770 to 1850.
Yes, he was born in 1770 and he passed away in the year 1850. Okay. Then? Is that all?
Father was a lawyer.
His father was a lawyer. Very good, very good. Thank you, Janvi. Now, can anyone add to the details? Yes, Sarah.
He used simple words.
Simple language in his poems. Okay, then. Okay, that's fine. Yes, Aditi? Anything more? Please unmute. Yes.
Ma'am.
Yes, Aditi? Unmute. Unmute.
He used to add rhyming words in his poem.
He used a lot of rhyming words. Yes, yes, rhyming words. Okay, that is also one speciality. Izan, yes, tell me.
He lost his parents at a very young age.
Young age. He lost both his parents at the age of 15. And who remembers his famous work? Can you name his famous work? Daffodils. Very good. And apart from Daffodils, there is one more very famous work of William Wordsworth. That is The Solitary Reaper. It's a very famous poem. The Solitary Reaper. So Daffodils and The Solitary Reaper are two of his famous poems. And you know, children, he wrote around 387 poems in his lifetime. 387 poems, beautiful poems. And most of the poems is based on the nature's beauty. And no wonder why he's called the nature's poet. Okay? Okay, so that's about William Wordsworth, and regarding the poem, we discussed the importance of sleep, and we also discussed what happens if you don't get proper sleep at night, how will be the next day, and this poem is about the struggles faced by the poet who has sleepless nights. He's unable to sleep for many nights. And he describes beautifully through this poem how he feels without proper sleep. Okay, now somebody should recite the first stanza for me. Who will recite the first stanza? Alessandra, read the first stanza. I explained to you stanza in the last class, right? Yes.
Yes, ma'am. A flock of sheep that leisurely...
Hurry, put your hands down. Okay, continue.
Leisurely pass by, one after one, the sound of rain and bees, murmuring the fall of rivers, winds, and seas. Smooth fields, white sheets of water, and pure sky.
Okay, good reading. So, in the first stanza, what does the poet explain? He sees the nature's beauty in his imagination. He's trying to fall asleep, and he imagines the most interesting things in his life. That is, he loves nature the most. So he imagines, he visualizes the different things in nature one by one. And what are the things he imagines, Navneet? There are 7 things he visualizes as he lies on his bed waiting for the sleep. Can you tell me 2 of the things that is said here, Navneet? Where is Navneet? Okay, Niranjan, tell me. Just tell me 2 things that he imagines.
Sound of rain,
Sound of rain,
bees murmuring.
bees murmuring. Okay, Niranjan said sound of rain and bees murmuring. You know what is murmuring sound of the bees? Continuous, non-stop buzzing sound of the bees is called murmuring sound. Now, give me next 2 things that the poet imagines. Felix, tell me the next 2 things. Yes, Felix, I'm not able to hear you. What are the next 2 things that the poet imagines?
Yes.
Yeah, give me the answer. Kirtana.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So, what are the other 2 things that the poet imagines?
White sheets of water and pure sky.
Very good. White sheets of water, pure sky. Now, totally, 4 things are mentioned. We have 3 more things. Who can tell me the remaining 3 things? Remaining 3. It's there in the first stanza. Remaining 3 things. Yes, Siddhi. Siddhi, can you say? No. Yes, Srihari. Tell me, what are the other 3 things?
Counting sheep.
Yes, counting sheep. A flock of sheep. That is the first line, right? Flock of sheep that leisurely pass by. Okay. Then what are the remaining 2 things? Yes, Riza.
Sound of the rain.
Sound of rain is already set. Flock of sheep that leisurely pass by. Then fall of rivers, wind and seas. Right? Fall of rivers, winds and seas, and pure sky. So, totally 7 things. These are the 7 things that the poet lies on the bed and imagines, starting with flock of sheep that leisurely pass by, sound of rain, murmuring bees, fall of rivers, winds and seas, smooth fields, white sheets of water, and pure sky. These are how many things are there? Flock of sheep, sound of rain, bees murmuring, fall of rivers, winds and seas, smooth fields, white sheets of water, and pure sky. So totally, how many things does the poet imagines? How many are there? 7. 7 things. Okay. So this is what is described or explained in the first stanza. Everything is fine and perfect for a good sound sleep. But what happens? Who can read the second stanza? Nainika, recite the second stanza.
I have thought of all by turns, and yet do lie, sleepless and soon the small birds' melodies must hear. First, you third
Third.
in orchard trees, and the first cuckoo's melancholy cry.
Melancholy cry. Okay, good. So, I have thought of all by turns, and yet do lie sleepless. And soon the small bird's melodies must hear, first uttered from my orchard trees, and the first cuckoo's melancholy cries. So the poet is telling, he has thought about all these things one by one, but still what happened? He is lying sleepless on his bed, and very soon what happens? The night is over, the morning arrives, and that is signified by the small birds' melodies. What do you mean by the word melodies? Melodies is sweet song. Sweet song. And sweet song represents happiness. Right? Happiness. And then what happens? And this sweet song is heard from the orchard trees. Uttered means said or sung from the orchard trees. I hope you remembered orchard. What are orchard? Fruit trees. Fruit bearing trees growing together. That is called, fruit trees garden is called orchard. And the first cuckoo's melody, yes, you saw apple trees and orange trees. And first cuckoo's melancholy cry. Melancholy means sad mood. Sad mood. Sad mood. And that shows sadness.
And could not win.
And that shows sadness. So in this stanza, the poet says that the time moves on. From night, the morning arrives, and it shows two different moods. The small bird's melodies show happiness, whereas the first cuckoo's melancholy cry shows sadness. So it's a combination of happiness and sadness. The poet is happy because he thought about all the beautiful things in nature.
Because
he was thinking about all the beautiful things in nature, he is very, very happy. But why is he sad? Who can tell me? Why is the poet sad? Wait. Why is the poet sad? Arpita? Why is the poet sad? Why is the poet sad? If you are listening to the poem carefully, then you will be able to answer. Who can give me the answer? Why is the poet sad? Yes, Kirtana.
Because he can't sleep.
Yes, exactly. Because he is unable to sleep. He's happy because he's imagining all the beautiful things of nature, what he really loves, and he's sad because he again had a sleepless night. And here the sadness and happiness are represented by two different things. One is this, the happiness is represented by the small bird's melodies, and the sadness is represented by the melancholy cry of the cuckoo. Okay, so this is what is explained in the second stanza. Now, let's move on to the third stanza. Before that, let me ask you a question. I forgot about it. Yes. What is the poem with 14 lines called? What is a poem with 14 lines called? Those who know the answer, please raise your hand. Yes, Siddhi?
Sonnet.
Exactly. So sonnet will have 14 lines. It will have a specific rhyming pattern. It's a sort of little song with a specific rhyming pattern. Siddhi, and how many syllables will each line have? Yes. Selim, how many syllables will each line have?
10.
10 syllables. Yes, 10 syllables. And basically there are three types of sonnets. Okay, and here To Sleep is a beautiful sonnet. Now, moving on to the third stanza. Even thus last night and 2 nights more I lay, and could not win thee, sleep, by any stealth. So do not let me wear tonight away. Without thee, what is all the morning's wealth? Okay, I'll make it clear to you. last night and 2 nights more I lay, and could not win thee. This word, thee, is an old English usage. It's an old word used in English, meaning you. Okay, the word thee means you. So here the poet is telling, even thus last night and 2 nights more I lay, and could not win thee sleep. Here you is sleep. The poet is calling sleep as you. By any stealth means secret. I tried all the secret methods to get the sleep. All the methods, without anyone knowing, without telling anyone. I tried all the ways, but I couldn't win the sleep. So do not let me wear tonight away. Wear away. Wear away means waste. I don't want to waste this night also. I don't want to waste this night also. Without thee, what is all the morning's wealth? Here, wealth, morning's wealth shows happiness. We already discussed that if you don't get proper sleep the entire day, the next day will be a total mess. You'll feel very miserable, very unhappy. You won't have the energy. But whereas if you get a good sound sleep on the night, the morning will be fresh, energetic. Lot of enthusiasm, right? Your brain, your mind, your body, everything will be very fresh. So here, the poet says he didn't get sleep for the past 3 nights. Even this last night and 2 nights more. So totally, he couldn't sleep for 3 consecutive nights. And here, the poet is considering sleep as a person. You know, sleep is a non-living thing. It's not an object, right? It's an abstract noun. But here, the poet, William Wordsworth, is considering sleep as a person. Such poetic device is called personification. So dear children, I'm not going to explain in detail what is personification. It is called a it is a poetic device. Poetic device like simile, metaphor, a lot of beautiful language usages will happen, will be done in the poems. So one such is called personification. The poet considers a non-living thing as a living object, as a person. Okay, that is called personification. You will learn about this in a detailed way in the higher classes. So I am just mentioning the word to you. Okay, and can anyone tell me how many syllables does this long word personification have? Please try. Yes, Manav.
10.
Hello, listen to the question carefully. Personification. How many syllables does this word have? Yes, Kirtana, tell me.
6.
6, exactly. Personification. I have taught you how to break the word into syllables, right? So personification, just wanted to tell you what are syllables. Okay, so here the poet is using personification as a poetic device because he is considering the sleep as a person, and he's telling 3 nights I struggled without proper sleep. Still I couldn't win you, thee. I couldn't win you sleep. Please don't make me waste my night again. Without thee, without you, what is all the morning's wealth? What is there in the morning? I won't be able to enjoy the morning's wealth, morning's happiness. Okay, is that clear to you? Now, now in the next 2 lines, the poet is describing the importance of the sleep. Come, blessed barrier between day and night. What do you mean by barrier? Barrier. Barrier is a separation, a wall or a fence, right? Barrier. So here the poet says, come, blessed barrier between day and day. What is a blessed barrier between the 2 days? Who can give me the answer? What is the blessed barrier between day and day? Which is a blessed barrier here? Tell me. Who can give me the answer? Which is a blessed barrier? Yes, Aditi. Aditi.
Night.
No. What are they talking in this poem? What is the main topic? Yes, Manas, tell me.
Sleep.
Exactly. Sleep is a blessed barrier. It is a blessing between the 2 days, right? One day, night arrives, the whole day is over. And once you get a sleep, proper sleep, that opens a good beginning to the next day. So here, the blessed barrier is the sleep. So the poet says, come, blessed barrier between day and day, dear mother of fresh thoughts and joyous health. Again, another word used here is mother. Mother of fresh thoughts. Here, mother of means the cause of, the reason behind. Okay, the cause of fresh thoughts and joyous health. Joyous health means full of joy, filled with joy. So with these 2 lines, the poet concludes the poem by telling the importance of the sleep. He says, he uses 2 different words for explaining the importance of sleep. One is the blessed barrier between day and day, and the next word is mother of fresh thoughts and joyous health. With that, the poem is completed. Okay. So come, blessed barrier between day and day, dear mother of fresh thoughts and joyous health. Ryan, can you recite the 3rd stanza? 3rd stanza.
Even thus, last night and 2 nights more, I lay and could not win thee. Sleep by and still.
Stealth. Stealth. Repeat. Ryan, repeat the word. It's stealth.
Stealth.
Continue.
So do not let me wear tonight away. Without thee, what is all the morning bell?
Yes. Read the next 2 lines also.
Come, blessed barrier.
Wait. Ryan, how do you read? Can you see a comma after the come? So pause after the word come. Come, blessed barrier.
Barrier between day and day. Dear mother of fresh thoughts and joys. Health.
Joyous health. Okay. So, with that, the poem is completed. And yes, it's over. Yes, tell me.
If we didn't get sleep at last night, at the next morning we will think something was gone from our life.
Okay. Okay, now I'll ask you some questions. How do the sheep pass by? How do the sheep pass by?
One after one.
How? Leisurely. Okay. Where do the small birds sing in the morning?
Melodies.
In the
Orchard trees.
In the orchard. Not orchard. Orchard. See, when I'm reading the poem, you have to take care. You have to get the pronunciation of the word correctly. Okay, some of you are really very ignorant about the pronunciation. It is orchard. How do you pronounce the word? Orchard trees, yes. What does the word melancholy mean? Melancholy.
Sad mood.
Exactly, sad mood. How many nights has the poet been unable to sleep?
2 more.
3 nights, exactly. 3 nights. 3 nights. Yes, 3 nights. Okay. So here, children, we already said that each line has 10 syllables plus has got a specific rhyming pattern. Now we will discuss how do we decide the rhyming pattern of a poem. Okay, just look at the poem. We are going to take the last words of each line. The last words. Okay. A flock of sheep, listen. A flock of sheep that leisurely pass by. The sound of rains and bees. This is the last word. Rivers, winds and seas. Your sky. So, listen. Oh God, such a lot of noise. Not even for a single minute I can unmute you. All will keep on talking. Okay, fine. So, the first word, by, let us name it as A. Okay, this pattern is A. Bees, it has got no connection with A, so we are putting another letter B. Seas. So, do you think that bees and seas rhyme with each other? Yes? Yes? Yes. So, we will give this also as B. Whereas, sky, can you connect it with any other word? Yes. It rhymes with by. So, this also we can give A. So, the rhyming pattern of the first stanza is A, B, B, A. Not a ba. Okay, the rhyming pattern is A, B, B, A. Why? The first and the fourth line rhymes, the second and the third line rhymes. Okay, now let's check with the next one. Second stanza, and yet do lie the small birds' melodies, orchard trees, melancholy cry. Here also, let us give this as A, melodies as B, trees, melodies, trees. This will be B, lie and cry, A. So what is the rhyming pattern? A, B, B, A. Again, the second stanza also has a rhyming pattern A, B, B, A. Okay, now let's move on to the third one. 2 nights more I lay by any stealth. Stealth. Away. Wealth. Now, I have unmuted you. First word is A. Let us give it as A. Yes. Stealth. No connection with A. We'll give it as B. Away. Away. Yes. Because this rhymes with A. Yes. A. Stealth and wealth. B. So what is the rhyming pattern? A, B, A, B. Yes. Yes. And then day and health, there is no specific this because they are two separate lines. This is how, listen children, this is how we decide the rhyming patterns of a poem. We look at each stanza, look at the ending word on each side, and then we will name it as A, B, C, D. Sometimes if there is no particular rhyming pattern, it will be A, B, C, D. All 4 lines will be different. But here we saw the first 2 stanzas have the rhyming pattern A, B, B, A, and the third stanza has A, B, A, B. Okay, that is how we we decide the rhyming pattern of a poem. Okay, now a final thing, we look at the syllables. Okay. I'll just write the first line. A flock of sheep that leisurely pass by. Okay, now let us check whether there are 10 syllables in this. A flock of sheep that leisurely 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, leisurely Sorry, this one, leisurely pass by. Count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That makes 10 syllables. We'll write one more sentence. One after one, the sound of rain and bees. Again, one after, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, 10 syllables. Did you see that, children? So how many syllables does each line have? 10 syllables. So if you check the entire poem, I have not checked it yet, but if you have time, whenever you're free, just check whether there are 10 syllables in each line, and that makes this sonnet of 40 lines. Okay, so today I'll be sending you the notes of this lesson. Please copy down the notes in your literature notebook and read the poem. Practice reading the poem, recite the poem with the proper punctuation. When you see the punctuation marks, read accordingly. Okay, so that's all for today. Yes.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye.
Bye.